You know that feeling, right? You meet someone new and it's just electric. The conversation is amazing, the energy is undeniable, and you're thinking, yes, finally, someone who gets it. But then a few weeks go by and poof, it's gone. You're just left wondering what on earth just happened. Well, if that sounds even a little bit familiar, stick around. We're going to break down exactly why that happens, and more importantly, what you can do about it.
It really is the million-dollar question, isn't it? Why does that incredible spark seem to always fade? It's not like you want to lose interest. It just happens again and again and again. And you start to wonder, is something wrong with me? Am I just doomed to keep cycling through people forever?
So in that first week, it's all about discovery. Every single conversation feels like a brand new adventure. What's happening in your brain is you're getting this huge hit of dopamine, that chemical that's all about reward and novelty. And that's exactly why it feels so electric. You're literally getting high on the newness of this other person.
And then, almost like a switch flips, everything changes. The texts that used to be exciting now feel like a chore. Making plans feels heavy. The exact same person you couldn't get enough of now seems kind of predictable, and the whole thing just starts to feel like an obligation, like work.
Okay, so let's get this out of the way right now because it's the most important part. If this whole cycle feels like your life story, listen to me. You are not broken. You are just caught in a very common pattern that most people don't really understand, but we're about to unpack it right now. All right, let's dive into our first section, stimulation versus connection. This is where we get to the real, core reason you keep losing interest.
This quote right here is the whole game. You think you're out there searching for a deep connection, but what you're actually chasing is stimulation. It's that thrill of the new, the excitement of the unknown. And yeah, it feels a lot like connection at first, but it's something else entirely. And this chart just breaks it down perfectly. Look, on one side, you have stimulation. It runs on novelty, mystery, and that big dopamine rush. It's a temporary high, and it's all about discovering something. But true connection, oh, that's a different beast. That's built on patience and depth. It needs trust and consistency. It's not about discovering, it's about building something.
So think about it. The moment that novelty wears off, the moment the relationship asks for a little more, like some patience or for you to dig a little deeper when things are quiet, that's when you start looking for the escape hatch. You're not actually running from a boring person. You're running from the vulnerability that comes with real depth. And that leads us right into our next section, the fear of being known. We're about to pull back the curtain on what that feeling you call boredom is really hiding. So, what are these hidden fears? Well, for one, it could be the fear of being truly seen when you're not on, when you're not performing or trying to be impressive. Or maybe you've just seen too many movies and think love is supposed to be this chaotic, passionate drama, so when things get calm, you assume it's over. But for so many of us, it's just about protection. If you've been hurt before, your brain's going to hit the eject button before you can ever get hurt again. And at the absolute center of all of this is vulnerability. What is it? It's the risk you take when you stop performing. When you let the mask drop and allow someone to see the ordinary, unpolished, real you. And that, my friends, is a huge risk. And here's the subconscious math that's happening in your head. Your brain decides, you know what? It's way, way safer to just label this situation boring and get out than it is to stay, be vulnerable, and risk getting hurt. Boredom becomes your shield. It's your perfect excuse. Okay? So that's the pattern. That's the problem. But how in the world do you actually break the cycle? Let's talk about a real practical path forward. It really boils down to 3 steps. 3 things you can actively practice. Number 1, just acknowledge the pattern. See it in yourself, and this is key. Don't beat yourself up about it. No blame. Number 2, identify the fear. The next time you feel that urge to run, stop and ask yourself, what am I really running from right now? And number 3, the hardest part, practice staying, just for a little bit. Choose one person and decide you're going to stick it out through that quiet, less stimulating phase. So, what happens if you do that? What do you actually find when you choose to stay? This next section is all about the other side of boredom, because I promise you what's waiting there isn't the emptiness you're afraid of. It's something so much better.
I love this metaphor. You have fireworks versus home. That initial spark, total fireworks. It's a brilliant flash, a temporary high, super exciting no doubt, but true connection, that's like coming home. It's not a flash, it's a steady warmth. It's a quiet, safe place to land. One is exciting, sure, but the other is deeply, truly fulfilling.
And there it is. That's the prize. That's what you get for staying. The thing you've been desperately looking for in person after person isn't in the next new person. It's waiting for you right on the other side of that predictable, boring phase. And its name is intimacy.
So really, the choice is this. You can have a life where you feel like you have to be constantly entertained, always on your toes, always performing. Or you can have a life where you feel truly seen, a life where you can finally feel your feet on the ground and just be yourself.
We need to completely reframe how we think about this. This quote says it all. The people who stay aren't boring. They're brave. Choosing to stay, to work through the quiet parts, isn't a sign that you're settling. It is an act of bravery. It takes real courage to choose depth over distraction, to choose the slow, hard work of building something real over the easy high of something new. So I'll leave you with this challenge. The next time you feel that familiar itch, that wave of boredom starting to wash over you in a relationship, just pause for 1 second and ask yourself this one simple, powerful question. Because your answer, it just might change everything.